Did you know that there are some countries that the UK government recommends avoiding due to political unrest, conflict, or safety concerns? Here are 15 countries that are off-limits to UK citizens. Number 1. North Korea. North Korea, also known as the Hermit Kingdom, is a country that is famously closed off from the rest of the world. Visiting this isolated nation is not as simple as booking a ticket and hopping on a plane. The strict regime in North Korea controls every aspect of your visit, where you can go, what you can see, and who you can speak to. It's like taking a highly controlled tour with no freedom to explore on your own. Adding to the challenge of visiting North Korea is their ongoing nuclear weapons program, which has resulted in severe international sanctions. So, if you've been daydreaming about strolling through Pyongyang and experiencing the unique culture firsthand, we hate to break it to you, but that dream will have to wait. North Korea remains a mysterious and fascinating place, but it's also one of the most difficult countries to visit in the world. Number 2. Syria. Syria, a once bustling destination known for its history and ancient sites like Palmyra, has sadly become synonymous with conflict in recent years. The ongoing civil war has turned it into one of the most dangerous places on Earth, making it extremely unsafe for foreign travelers, particularly those from countries like the UK. The decade-long conflict has left much of the country in ruins, creating a hazardous environment filled with bombings, kidnappings, and militant activity. It's not just the physical danger from combat that makes Syria a no-go zone. The overall threat level is high and includes various risks that can endanger anyone who enters the region. Unfortunately, Syria is not currently a safe place to visit for tourists. The civil war has caused a major humanitarian crisis, with millions of people being displaced and facing shortages of food, water, and health care. It's a heartbreaking situation, with organizations doing their best to provide aid, but the overall outlook is still very grim. Because of this, many countries, including the UK, have advised against traveling to Syria. The risks are simply too high, and it's not worth putting yourself in danger just for the sake of exploring a beautiful country. Number 3. Libya. Once known for its stunning coastlines and rich cultural history, Libya has unfortunately fallen into chaos since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The country's once vibrant cities are now battlegrounds for warring factions, making it a far cry from the ideal vacation spot it once was. Currently, armed conflict is widespread throughout Libya, with different groups competing for control. This has made travel to the region not just risky, but downright dangerous. The situation on the ground is incredibly volatile, with violence erupting unexpectedly and posing a threat to both locals and tourists. In addition to the ongoing unrest, the presence of militias and the threat of terrorism only add to the risks of visiting Libya. For UK citizens, the country is considered a high-risk destination that should be approached with caution. The security infrastructure in the country has completely collapsed, making services and protections you would typically rely on in a stable country, like law enforcement, very weak or completely absent. Without these safety nets as a tourist, things like travel insurance won't even help you in case of an emergency in Libya, leaving you extremely vulnerable. Number 4. Yemen. Yemen used to be a country known for its stunning landscapes and rich heritage. Unfortunately, it is currently facing one of the most severe humanitarian crises in the world. The ongoing civil war has turned this once beautiful place into a dangerous and challenging environment. In the past, Yemen might have been a tempting destination, but now it is strongly advised against traveling there by many travel advisories, including the UK. The conflict has caused widespread violence, making many areas unsafe for both locals and visitors. Millions of Yemenis have been forced to leave their homes due to the war, leading to a heartbreaking level of displacement. On top of the violence, the country is also grappling with severe famine and the spread of disease, creating extremely difficult living conditions for those who remain. Not to mention, Yemen is filled with risks like landmines and areas of active conflict, which can make travel extremely dangerous. The threat of kidnappings is also very real, as militant groups and criminal factions often use abductions as a strategy to gain power. All of these factors come together to make Yemen a place where your safety cannot be guaranteed. Number 5. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, a country with breathtaking mountain scenery, has unfortunately become a very unsafe place, especially since the Taliban took control in 2021. The shift in power has created chaos and insecurity, making daily life incredibly challenging for locals and even more so for tourists. For UK travelers, Afghanistan is now considered one of the most dangerous destinations in the world. The constant threat of violence, terrorist activities, and political instability make it a risky place to visit. Even if you manage to enter the country, you'll navigate a highly volatile environment where your safety cannot be guaranteed. The current government has placed heavy restrictions on foreign travel, making it almost impossible to visit Afghanistan. It's like the country is in lockdown, controlling who can come and go. Access is limited and the risks outweigh the rewards for those who do manage to visit. Unfortunately, Afghanistan is not a safe place for tourists anymore, as the high level of danger has effectively sealed off the country to outsiders. Even though Afghanistan used to be known for its stunning landscapes and historic cities, it's now too risky to visit. Number 6. Somalia. Somalia has sadly been linked to piracy and terrorism for a while now. Despite its rich cultural history, the capital Mogadishu has been plagued by instability for years. It's not just about the dangers at sea, but also on land. The terrorist group Al-Shabaab has strongholds throughout the country, making it a risky destination for foreign travelers, including citizens of the UK. The lack of governance in many parts of the country has allowed these groups to operate freely, and the absence of law enforcement makes it nearly impossible to guarantee any form of safety. On top of that, severe poverty has made day-to-day life incredibly difficult for locals, further fueling instability. For foreigners, the risks of kidnapping, violence, and terrorist attacks are extremely high, meaning that visiting Somalia is far from an adventurous trip. It's a dangerous gamble with your safety. If you've ever considered taking a stroll through Mogadishu or imagine cruising off the coast of Somalia, you'll need to think again. The risks are too high, and the UK government has made it clear. Somalia is strictly off limits. So, while Somalia may have its own unique history and beauty, it's simply not safe to explore right now. Number 7. South Sudan. South Sudan is a country that has faced many challenges since gaining independence in 2011. Despite hopes for peace and progress, the years following independence have been filled with violence, civil war, and conflict. The ongoing clashes between government forces and rebel groups have created a dangerous and unstable environment, making it a risky destination for travelers. The resilience of the South Sudanese people is truly remarkable, but the situation on the ground remains fragile. The risk of getting caught in conflict or becoming a target of violence is very high. This makes traveling to South Sudan not just unsafe, but nearly impossible for foreigners, including those from the UK. The country is constantly unsettled, with ever-changing alliances and sudden outbreaks of fighting. It's important to consider the limited infrastructure and access to necessary services such as healthcare in South Sudan. This means that if anything were to go wrong during your travels, help may be difficult to come by. Despite its potential and stunning natural beauty, the risks in South Sudan outweigh any potential rewards for visitors. Number 8. Central African Republic. Central African Republic might be a beautiful country, but unfortunately, it's not a safe destination for travelers. If you're looking for an adventure off the beaten path, the country is not the place to go. Many areas of the country are controlled by armed groups, leading to lawlessness and violence. The risk of kidnapping, armed conflict, and political instability is very high. Even though the country has stunning landscapes like lush rainforests and diverse wildlife, it's not a great place for tourism. The government has weak control, and the presence of armed factions makes the security situation unpredictable. This puts foreign nationals at risk of attacks or abduction. Number 9. Mali. While Mali's stunning landscapes, historic cities, and rich culture may pique your interest, the country is currently facing a challenging situation that poses risks for travelers. Unfortunately, Mali has been dealing with ongoing insurgency and terrorist activities for years, leading to several regions being controlled by extremist groups. And for the safety of visitors, it's important to note that the risks in Mali are very high. There is a constant threat of kidnappings, especially targeting foreigners, and violent attacks have become frequent in various parts of the country. The Sahel region, which includes parts of Mali, has become a hub for terrorist groups, making it a particularly risky area to travel through. Mali's cultural gems like Timbuktu and its stunning deserts are so alluring, but it's important to remember that safety comes first. If you're dreaming of exploring Mali's ancient sites and vast landscapes, it's best to wait until the security situation improves. So, while those Sahel desert pictures may be calling your name, it's best to admire Mali's beauty from a distance for now. Number 10. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, a beautiful West African country with a rich cultural heritage, has unfortunately become a risky destination for travelers. Recently, there has been a rise in terrorist activities, especially in the northern and eastern parts of the country, leading to it being marked as a no-go area by the FCDO. Extremist groups, including those associated with Al-Qaeda and ISIS, have brought violence and instability to Burkina Faso, creating unsafe conditions for both locals and visitors. Foreign nationals are often targeted as high-profile victims, with the constant threat of kidnappings and attacks. Even places that were once popular tourist spots are now unsafe due to the escalating danger. It's important to stay informed and prioritize safety when considering travel to Burkina Faso. For anyone looking forward to the lively culture, friendly locals, and dynamic customs of Burkina Faso, known as the cultural hub of West Africa, it can be disheartening to hear about the current safety concerns, and it's disappointing that travel plans may need to be postponed due to security concerns. In the meantime, let's appreciate Burkina Faso's rich heritage from afar and keep our hopes high for peace to return to this beautiful region soon. Number 11. Niger. Niger has been struggling with terrorism along its borders for years, and unfortunately, the situation has only gotten worse. Recent attacks by extremist groups have made it one of the most unstable places in West Africa. If you are thinking about visiting Niger to see its vast deserts or experience its unique culture, it is best to see updates for safety travel information before going. The border areas, especially near Mali, Nigeria, and Burkina Faso, have become hotspots for violence. Extremist groups frequently launch attacks, putting both locals and foreigners at risk. The increased threat of violence and kidnappings makes Niger a very unsafe destination, including the UK's citizens. While Niger is a beautiful country with rich traditions and stunning landscapes, the current risks outweigh any potential rewards. As tempting as it may be to explore this less-traveled destination, your safety should always come first. Adventure is great, but not when it comes with such danger. Number 12. Nigeria. Nigeria, one of the largest and most vibrant countries in Africa, is brimming with culture and potential. However, safety is a concern due to ongoing challenges. The country is currently grappling with a militant insurgency, mainly in the northern regions, resulting in a high risk of terrorism, kidnappings, and violent crime. Due to the instability, the UK government recommends avoiding travel to certain parts of Nigeria, particularly in the north. Boko Haram and other militant groups are active in these areas. Even in regions unaffected by the insurgency, there are still risks of armed robbery and violent crime, especially in cities like Lagos and Abuja. However, some areas are safer, especially for those familiar with the region. It's unfortunate news for a country known for its rich culture, stunning scenery, and great potential as a top spot to visit in Africa. Nigeria has so much to explore, from lively markets to stunning landscapes. However, until the security situation gets better, it's a place that travelers, including those from the UK, should approach with care. Number 13. Cameroon. Cameroon is currently experiencing a challenging situation as a result of the conflict between separatist groups and government forces in its English-speaking regions. This ongoing internal conflict has sadly led to widespread violence and instability, posing risks for both locals and foreign visitors. It's truly unfortunate because Cameroon is a country with so much to offer, from its beautiful landscapes to its rich cultures. However, the conflict in the northwest and southwest regions has made it unsafe for tourism at the moment. The threat of kidnappings, clashes between armed groups, and general unrest make it risky to travel here right now. So, as much as we would love to explore all the beauty and diversity that Cameroon has to offer, it's important to prioritize safety. While it may be tempting to visit Cameroon for its natural beauty and rich culture, the FCDO, or Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, has recommended against traveling there, adding Cameroon to the list of destinations UK citizens should avoid. Number 14. Chad is a country in the heart of Africa known for its vast deserts, unique landscapes, and rich cultural history. However, despite its natural beauty and adventure potential, Chad is currently facing political instability and armed conflict, making it a highly unpredictable and dangerous destination for foreign visitors. In recent years, Chad has seen frequent coups, government instability, and rebel attacks, especially in the northern and border regions. This has created a tense and ever-changing environment, making it important for travelers to stay informed and cautious. Unfortunately, basic safety can't be guaranteed due to the volatile situation in the country. Whether you are planning a trip to Chad or are simply interested in learning more about this fascinating country, it's important to be aware of the risks involved and to stay updated on the current situation. Additionally, Chad is dealing with challenges like widespread poverty and limited infrastructure, which can make travel logistics tricky and risky even in more peaceful areas. Kidnappings, armed robberies, and the presence of terrorist groups in certain regions only heighten the dangers. While Chad may seem like an appealing destination for adventurous travelers seeking a remote experience, the current circumstances suggest that the risks far outweigh the potential rewards. The UK government strongly advises against traveling to Chad, and it's evident that for now, it's best to put this adventure on hold. Number 15, Sudan. Sudan is a country filled with history, culture, and incredible ancient wonders. However, it's currently facing some tough times with political instability, armed conflict, and a heartbreaking humanitarian crisis. Sadly, the situation in Sudan has been getting worse over the years. Ongoing fighting between military factions and rebel groups has made the country a risky and unstable place to visit. The recent conflicts have only added to the chaos, with violence spreading across regions like Darfur and Khartoum. This fighting has led to the displacement of many people and left Sudan in a state of turmoil. It's a challenging situation that doesn't seem to be improving anytime soon. For international visitors, the risks are quite serious. Armed conflicts are a common occurrence, and with the crumbling infrastructure and lack of essential services, navigating through Sudan safely is nearly impossible. On top of that, the dangers of being kidnapped, robbed, or facing terrorist threats are very real. It's evident that Sudan is currently too hazardous for tourism. Even though the pyramids and historical sites in Sudan may pique your curiosity, it's best to admire them from a distance for now. Enjoy the wonders of this intriguing destination through books, documentaries, and tales, rather than risking your safety by traveling there. Until the situation stabilizes, the dangers far outweigh any potential benefits for travelers exploring this region. So there you have it. Although these countries may seem like they offer exciting opportunities for adventure and exploration, the potential risks involved make them a definite no for UK citizens. Remember, when it comes to travel, your safety should always be the top priority. Keep an eye out for more travel tips and updates, and make sure to show your support by liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell for all things travel.